Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It's Venusian Bull here. I felt the need to go live right now because it is a lot of madness and mayhem and looting and rioting and domestic terrorism, things of that nature that's going on in our nation's capital right now. Literally at the Capitol right now um, because this is the day that Congress is actually counting the Electoral College votes. And, there's a lot of people in the streets that are Trump supporters, and they go hard for him, that they are not happy with the results finally being solidified for President-elect Joe Biden, and they're not here for that. I'm not really here to talk about that. I am more or less here to talk about what's going on with the transits and why this is happening right now. So I'm actually on my computer, literally looking at the transits. Now, there's not anything specific that's an exact aspect today. And I'm not sure if anybody is coming in. I'm kind of doing this live on a different platform, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see people. So hopefully I'll be able to see your comments soon, or I'll watch it on the replay. But even though the aspect isn't isn't exact right now, this Jupiter in Aquarius sextile Chiron in Aries, and you can add on that Saturn in Aquarius sextile in the Chiron in Aries as well, as one of the reasons why this is occurring. The issue really is that a sextile, we know, is usually, deemed a positive aspect. It's usually, my earring. It's usually something that is deemed, an easier facilitating aspect. That doesn't always make it a good thing. It could make it easier for certain things to occur and for certain things to happen, like, these rebellions, these uprisings, for instance. And given that both Jupiter and Saturn are in Aquarius, Aquarius is the sign of rebellion. It's the sign of rejecting the status quo, rejecting authority, rejecting the norm. It's all about kind of bucking the system. And it's an aspect to the asteroid Chiron that's all about bucking the system. Chiron is known as the wounded healer, but it's also the area where people feel like, they can be the exception to the rule, i.e. these Trump supporters, i.e. these white supremacists. Okay, got a problem with the way that I'm explaining this, then maybe you don't need to be here. Oh, hi, how are you? Thank you. Somebody said they love my channel. So yeah, so we got this Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, and it's sextiling Chiron in Aries. Okay, in Aries, it's all about fighting. It's all about, weapons and battles and wars. So it's literally these white people and they're fighting. They're climbing over gates and barricades. They're bursting into the Capitol, like they're using a lot of, force and fight to basically make their point, which has really no basis in foundation, to be honest, in reference to them not being happy that Trump lost the election, and that Trump lost the election and that he is going to be ousted out of office. So what I'm actually talking about now are the transits that are going on right now that is affecting what's going on in the nation's capital in DC. This is in America, so I don't know if you're watching from outside of America. So that's what I'm discussing, and I'm particularly looking at Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, sextiling Chiron in Aries. Okay. And I don't really see this energy letting up, because on the day of the inauguration on January 20th, that aspect is still going to be in play. The Jupiter sextile Chiron, that becomes exact on January 11th. But then you still have Saturn approaching Chiron. And then on January 20th, another big aspect that's happening is Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus. And this is going to be exact at 6 degrees. So that compounded on top of this Jupiter, Saturn, sextile, and Chiron, it's just mass destruction. When Uranus and Mars get together, it's literal combustion. It's just like destruction on a completely different level. And the interesting thing is that it is in Taurus, so maybe it won't be, I'm scared to say, maybe it won't be as bad, maybe it won't be as destructive, because Taurus is more cool, calm, and collected. But you kind of got to look at the energy of the planets. And also Taurus, the bull, when Taurus is at its breaking point and it gets its most angry, it's like no stopping it. It's the bull. It's like you've pushed me too far. So low-key kind of scared for this, because, you know, stubborn Taurus, the bull energy is very, you know, set in their ways. They're not about having anything change or anything like that. So with that being there, I could, that Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus, I could see that being a good thing and a bad thing. The biggest thing is that these actions that are happening today, they have to show people that we need to take action in this country, specifically as it pertains to white supremacy, as it pertains to how we look at the police, as it pertains to racism, as it pertains to systemic racism, institutionalized racism, because, you know, you got Jupiter and Saturn in the sign of the people. Aquarius is the sign of the people. This is not the sign where somebody is more superior than the other. This is all of the people. This is the commonality. This is, you know, socialism. This is socialist policies and progressive agendas, and things like that. And you know, Saturn represents the government. It represents authority. So it's just, it's going to be a battle against authority. But this is fake activism that's happening right now. This is not, you know, real activism. It's not for a real cause. They just don't like the fact that, you know, Trump is no longer going to be the president. And the sextile that is happening makes it so easy for them to do this, because, you know, if it was, you know, somebody like myself and people like myself, you know, Black people, hey, you know, Black Lives Matter, you know, they would have had the tear gas, you know, they would have had the rubber bullets, they would have had the National Guard. You saw the memes that were posted, or the stuff that was posted on Twitter saying that they denied the National Guard or something like that. It's absolutely crazy, and it's absolute mayhem. And that is that Aquarius energy, that's that Chiron and Aries energy. This is, I would say, this is giving real dark side Aquarius energy. This is real dark side Aquarian energy, because this is really like when you're being rebellious for no reason. You're trying to buck the system for no reason. You're trying to be different for no reason. Like, you think you have a cause, but you don't really have one. Like, it's just, you know, it's really defunct, but you think you're actually doing something. So I'm hoping that this will amount, you know, some type of change in the way that not just the government looks at white supremacy and systemic racism, but the way that the people look at the government and systemic the way that the people look at systemic racism. You would have thought that the, you know, the George Floyd protest that happened, you know, in the summer, and that, you know, ended up going all over the world, would have done something, but no. So hopefully, you know, America and the rest of the world, seeing all these white people acting crazy for no reason, can, you know, change something. And, you know, nobody's wearing masks, so you know, there's that as well. I mean, that's like really the last thing on people's minds at this point. But yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. And I think this is one of those situations where things are going to have to get worse before they get better, to be honest. I don't really think it's I think if you live anywhere in the DC area around Inauguration Day, stay in your house. Be careful. Like, don't plan anything that day. Like, stay in your house. Like, I don't have the best feeling about what's going to be going down that day, especially with Mars and Uranus being conjunct exactly on January 20th. So yeah, it's going to be, this is just really a hot mess. And it's like when the Jupiter Saturn conjunction actually happened, when it happened on December 21st of 2020, it wasn't really nothing that really popped off yet. It was like things were, brewing and stuff. And this is kind of like the extension of that conjunction, because when these major conjunctions take place, it's not just like it just happens on that one day and then that's it. This is going to be taking effect for a few months, or at least as long as the degrees are only about 8 degrees apart. So right now, Saturn is at the 2nd degree and Jupiter is at the 4th degree. So technically they're still conjunct. It's just not an exact conjunction. So, and just to put things in perspective, Chiron is at the 5th degree. So it's literally like right in between there. So, yeah, this is a hot, and if you want to add insult to injury, it looks like Jupiter is approaching a square with Uranus. So that's going to be happening soon. Let me see. That's going to happen before the inauguration. Jupiter square Uranus. So that's going to be like, it looks like it's happening on the 18th. So it's going to be just things compounding to like mass destruction. And we think that this is as bad as it gets. And I see so many people commenting like, I've never seen anything like this. And this is, it's just so horrible. And what is this country coming to? And it's just like, America has always been like this. You know what I mean? It's just now everybody can see it in real time at all times. And that's Aquarius for you. Technology has made the mayhem and the rebellion be front and center. So yeah, that's kind of all I really wanted to say. I just kind of had to pop on a live real quick. I didn't want to do like an official, video for this or anything like that. I just had this on my spirit and I kind of just needed to get this out because I needed to be able to explain these energies, like what is going on that is causing all of this, ruckus, because, we know that, these Trump supporters have been going out and they've been protesting, little by little, ever since the election, but it hasn't gotten this bad. So I'm like, what is happening right now that is causing that? And it's really kind of like the onset of that Jupiter Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. So I'm just hoping that that Aquarian energy, it turns around and it becomes more positive Aquarian energy, more for the people, more humanitarian and less entitled. Aquarius energy can be very entitled as well. They think they're entitled to things. And, Jupiter just blows everything up. People look at Jupiter as being this benefic planet. It's all, abundance and wealth and optimism and all of that, but it can blow things up out of proportion and it can expand things, whether that be good or bad. So Jupiter is not always the great benefic, so to speak. So, and of course, with it being next to Saturn, it's going to be, ups and downs in this roller coaster as long as they're kind of in this conjunction. So yeah, it's been going down. So if there's any new revelations or anything new that I want to say, I guess I'll just maybe come back on a live maybe, but I think I got everything out that I needed to get out. I believe those are the main aspects that are happening right now that's causing this mayhem right now. And in a lot of instances, it's kind of some of the most destructive energy. So definitely keep an eye out around the 20th, around the day of the inauguration, to see if anything else pops off, or if things keep on popping off up until the inauguration, or if it's a safety precaution to not have the inauguration happen because of all of this, kind of anarchy really that's going on. the goal for these Trump supporters was to try to, well, I don't think it's the goal for the Trump supporters, but some of the Republican Congress people who were in support of this whole election fraud thing were trying to delay the inauguration. So we'll see if that even happens. It's a possibility for that as well, with this energy that's taking place, especially given the fact that the Mars and Uranus conjunction is happening in Taurus, and Taurus moves things slow. Like Mars and Uranus speeds it up, but Taurus moves things slow. So it'll be interesting to see if there's like any sudden things that happen during the inauguration, like maybe they should have that bitch inside. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. I just, you know, thank you for saying that I look gorgeous. So like it's gonna be really crazy today and every day leading up to the inauguration and every day after that. I'm not really sure when this energy is going to necessarily die down, unless somebody in authority that people, you know, respect really gets on here and tells it like it is, not on here, but in the media, and tells it like it is. And the current occupant of the White House is not really trying to do that in an effective manner. So yeah, try to stay sane, be up on that self-care, try not to be glued to social media as much and let this, you know, bother you. But yeah, I just had to get this information out, and make sure to put in the comments what you think the transits are doing. If there's a transit that I may have missed that may be contributing to this energy that's happening in the cosmos right now. So yeah, just put that in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.